Foregone almost got lost in the abyss of my backlog, but I reached down in there and pulled it back out just in time. So Foregone is a fairly new action platform looter type game. It combines some elements that you may have seen in Metroidvanias and maybe even some from roguelites, but it doesn't really have enough of those features to fit into either of those categories. Each of the ingredients in this game are familiar, but ultimately the game that was made from those ingredients is something fairly unique, satisfying, not perfect, but its full blend of flavor is best enjoyed after you have savored it for at least a few hours. So here's what you need to know. First of all, the levels are handcrafted in this. There are no randomly generated areas. A few parts of the levels will branch off, but they eventually reconnect into a mostly linear layout. The handcrafted design is quite nice though, with some gorgeous landmarks and an auto mapping feature. You'll be sure to always find your way. Now along that way, you will unlock portals which act as checkpoints, but also allow you to teleport back to the outpost or any other portal you've been to. So this acts as a fast travel between areas and saves you time in going back to find the many secret areas hidden throughout the game. Unfortunately, a large amount of these hidden areas do require abilities that you only unlock near the end of the game. So somewhat like a Metroidvania, you may come across an area that you can't reach yet, but after an upgrade you can return to that area and access it. Unlike a Metroidvania, the levels don't interconnect as one big sprawling map in this game. It's definitely a lot more linear, and you'll have to use the portals to go back to areas you've already been. As you fight creatures, you'll earn gold and crystals, as well as occasional random weapon and armor drops. At the outpost, you can use your gold for upgrading equipment, and the blue crystals for unlocking and upgrading abilities. If you are defeated in this game, you will still keep all of your progress and items, but you will lose half of your gold and crystals on hand. So try to spend it whenever you can, and if you have a lot of gold or crystals on hand while you're close to death, you might want to safely backtrack to the nearest portal to restore your health and possibly do some spending. Random equipment drops do get stronger as you get closer to the end of the game, with mythic drops being some of the most powerful to start and can be upgraded up to 5 times. Foregone does a great job of setting you up for the adventure. It eases you into the mechanics, the visuals look appealing, and the story starts off strong. But somewhere in the first few areas, the game fell a little flat to me. I actually put it aside for a few months, and like I said, I dug it out of the abyss and finally got back into it. And I'm so glad that I did. The game really starts to shine again after those first few areas. The further I made it into the game, the more skills and abilities I unlocked. Now suddenly the gameplay has drastically improved. And I think just having more of these areas unlocked in the game makes it more appealing as well. I suddenly have all these things I can do, additional missions that have been unlocked, plenty of areas to travel to find secrets, and a wide variety of attacks and abilities make combat a lot more satisfying. When it comes to stats and equipment, you can really get into it here. With all sorts of variables and percentages to take into consideration, you can really have a field day here picking and choosing your equipment. And you can have these stats re-rolled by speaking with the dispatcher and doing one of his missions first. I found that the bosses in this game are balanced pretty well with a nice amount of challenge, but they aren't too difficult either. I usually only had to retry each boss battle once or twice, and there are checkpoint portals right before the boss rooms. I noticed the game would stutter a bit near portals, and I'm guessing that it's from loading the next part of the level into memory. It's not really a big deal though, since there aren't any enemies near the portal, but it doesn't look so great when it happens. Aside from that, I didn't notice any other slowdown in the game. I think if they had added more things to do in the beginning of the game, then it really would have improved that early gameplay experience for me. Like, maybe since we don't have much unlocked yet, they could have added more branching parts of the levels to explore. That probably would have been enough to keep things interesting until the game really starts picking up. I'm not sure what's going on with the animation in this game. It's very fluid and it looks really nice, but there isn't much detail to the characters. You can tell the pixelated characters weren't animated by hand, so they're probably using either 3D models or flash animation and then applying a low resolution filter over it. Either way, the results look nice. I really appreciate the smoothness and everything is scaled consistently. Looks good and it matches with the backgrounds nicely. The music sounds great too. It sounds like modern CD quality video game music. It's been playing in the background and I'll turn it up a bit for a few seconds to let you listen. Anyway, Foregone is available on the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, Xbox, and Steam. When the game first launched a few months back, it retailed for $30 in the US, but it has since had a price reduction to $20. So if you haven't picked this one up yet, it might be a good time to check it out. Or if you're like me and just stopped playing this game early on, I definitely recommend giving this one another chance. It really starts to get a lot more fun once you progress a bit further. Also, I just placed my order this morning for Synergia and Super Skull Smash Go 2 Turbo on the Vita, and I'm really excited to try those out. They're supposedly shipping near the end of the month, and I've never played either of those before, so this will be my first experience with them, and it'll be on the PlayStation Vita. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Until next time, I will see you later.